What you doing, Tom?
Oh, I was just thinking about...
What have I told you about using your imagination?
that I shouldn't do it.
Yes, and I wrote you a helpful poem as to why.
No, it's too long, it's too weird, and it's dark.
No, it's none of those things. Say it with me now.
Okay, fine. If in your brain some thoughts do swirl, mind that you do not unfurl, a freaky concoction of thoughts bizarre, gathered from near and afar.
I wish to keep my thoughts in order, not to be a big brain hoarder. Alas, unless downwards I sink, too fanciful, too out of sync,
indulging too much in desires to think. Oh, how I wish these thoughts would end. Go team! It's weird.
It's normal. Anyway, you don't need to use your imagination anymore because Amun-Re is here and it's set in ancient Egypt.
Don't you need imagination to do a review?
No. Alright gamers, Reiner Knizia has a new game.
It's a reprint from like 20 years ago.
And this one is set in ancient times.
They're all set in ancient times.
It's a game about managing resources in order to get victory points.
Oh boy.
And this is one of the strongest designs he's ever made.
Yeah, no, it is quite
It's
good.
good,
yeah,
isn't
no,
it?
it's good.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
a strong
it's
game.
A really, yeah, it's
Don't
a very
have
good. It's a pretty
stupid
good game.
one-liner for that.
Yeah, all right, fine. Originally from 2003, Amun-Re is an auction game that's been lifted from its sarcophagus by Alley Cat Games and deluxeified as Amun-Re 20th Anniversary Edition. It's got plastic bricks, plastic pyramids, plastic miniatures that I broke when I lost. I'm just kidding, they broke in transit. It's got new art from Vincent Dutrait and now comes in 2 flavors. A pleasingly affordable 20th Anniversary Edition and an expensified Expanded Edition with new expansions, which is fitting because Amun-Re is actually a game about shopping for bargains.
It is. So here's how it works. For reasons that are not explained and apparently not relevant, Egypt is up for sale. At the start of each round, you're going to deal out a number of region cards that you'll bid on, equal to the number of players, and each round starts with each player making a bid for a region they fancy, often pummeling someone else out of the running for a region. Because here's what makes this auction real awful. When somebody outbids you for a region, you can't then do another bid on that same region. You have to make a bid for somewhere else first. So if you want Sawu more than you've ever wanted any place or person in your life, but you're outbid for it because you were being cheap, you end up looking at the board and trying to make the worst possible bid for another region in the hope that you'll get outbid again and can go back to Sawu. Although sometimes nobody outbids you and then you're stuck governing Thebes. You see, Tom, you tried to use your imagination to picture a better life for yourself, and look where it got you.
Governing Thebes?
Governing Thebes. It's a cool auction system. It's weird, it's quick, it's simple, but why would players want some regions more than other regions? Well, for starters, everyone's holding secret cards that might give you extra points if all of your regions are on one side of the Nile or adjacent or whatever. But also, some regions let you buy more of these special rule-breaking cards each round. Some regions have more slots for farmers, and farmers generate cash to replace the cash that you are spending every round all the time. And then there's regions that get you victory points, and also if you buy Abydos, it comes with a free brick, so that's nice. If you buy 3 bricks, they become a pyramid through a process that isn't explained, but I'm sure involves no human suffering whatsoever. And pyramids are mostly what generate the points that win you the game. Every pyramid is worth 1 point. Every set of pyramids across all of your regions are worth 3 points, and the region with the most pyramids on either side of the Nile is worth 5 points. And you can remember that pyramids get you points because pyramids have points.
They also all start with a P.
That's a stupid way to remember something.
Okay.
Anyway, you know I'm not done teaching you this Reiner Knizia classic yet because it doesn't yet sound like something that's going to turn your brain into so much grey guacamole. So here's what I haven't told you. Between auctions, you can spend money on new farmers, bricks, and cards, but the more you buy of one thing, the more hellaciously expensive it gets. And bids during auctions work the same way. You see? You have to bid either 0, 1, 3, 6, 10, and so on. Meaning there's almost no such thing as a reasonable price in Amun-Re. Also, you don't just get money from farmers. Each round you have to do another, worse, blind auction where everyone secretly reveals how much they're donating to King of the Gods Amun-Re or robbing from his temple. The players who donated the most then get gifts, including everybody's favorite, bricks. But the total donated by all players, minus how much was robbed, determines how much money each farmer on the board generates.
Are you going to explain the best bit now in the game?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to teach the... Why would I not teach the best bit in a review of the game?
I was just checking to see, just to make sure that people at home know about the best bit of the game.
Yeah, okay.
Like that bit where all the pyramids stay on...
It comes naturally at this point in the review.
Okay.
Okay, so once you've auctioned off all of Egypt, which takes about 30 to 45 minutes, then you're going to score as if the game was over. But then
you're going to play another round, and all the pyramids are going to stay on the board, and you're going to play it again from the beginning. But it's like all the pyramids.
Stop!
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you're gonna. You play another era. You kind of. Yeah, so because pyramids are. You've ruined this for me.
Sorry.
All right. Once you've auctioned all of Egypt and scored the game once, you then give up all of your regions. You take off all of the farmers. You leave the pyramids because now it's 1,000 years later and pyramids cannot die. Why can't they die? Because of their geometry.
Geometry.
Geometry?
Geometry?
Geometry.
Geometry. Yeah.
So you then play the secret second half of Amun-Re, but where the board is already speckled with victory point generating pyramids. And rather than all the players starting with the same amount of money, instead you have whatever cards and money you stashed from the first era.
I've got £30.
I've got 4.
Oh.
Now you might think that playing a game kind of once and then resetting it sort of and playing it again but with different stakes and different funds is boring. But we're here to tell you it's not. Shut Up and Sit Down actually kind of likes when games are simple and then you sort of play them twice. It's pleasant.
Yeah! Try it sometime. And don't be so judgmental.
Yeah!
Yeah! So Amun-Re is a good game. The auctions that bookend each round are tense and exciting. The game is always full of you receiving bargains and watching your opponents accidentally pay too much, which is fun. And how much dough to save for the future and when to blow it all is a juicy decision. The cumulative costs of everything you have to pay for in this game frequently clash with the unreliable stream of income that everyone else is relying on, making every little bit of spare change feel like it counts. In a game where it's very easy to spend a lot of money very quickly and become flat broke, which is something that's just very entertaining for everyone else around the table.
Yeah, I also think this game is good, but I have a weird criticism.
Okay.
I wish going broke was a bit easier. Because when someone around the table is just absolutely busted and just trying to scrape together the cash to buy Buto, the game is both more entertaining for everybody else, obviously, but it's also more interesting to have a player who you can count on to not outbid you and stuff. But if you just play Amun-Re a bit sensibly, you probably won't go broke and you probably will do really well. So yeah, I have another criticism.
Oh, here we go.
So unless you're playing the game with a full 5 players, you don't play with all of Egypt, right? You randomly draw some regions that are just out of the game. But the way that Alley Cat suggests you do this is once you've drawn that card for what region it is, you turn that card over and you put it down and look! The art asset just looks a bit rubbish, and also it's not very readable. You can't, at a quick scan of the board, see which regions are out of play.
That's your big criticism?
Yes.
It's probably quite a good game then, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But Quinns, what if I told you this 20th anniversary edition comes with expansions? Imagine the possibilities.
No, I will not be using my imagination. If in your brain some thoughts do...
No, we're not going there. Look, listen, one of the expansions adds another type of currency. Instead of just buying bricks or bonuses or boys, you can also buy bricks. But they're a different kind this time, and you're building your eternal resting place out of them, getting a smattering of one-time bonuses as you build. This personal pyramid tomb will slowly grow out in front of you, reminding you that one day you will die, and that you don't know if there's anything in the great beyond, that you also don't know if you've even got a soul, that maybe nothing happens after you die, and that nothing really mattered in the end at all. And also that you get a +3 bonus for points in final scoring.
I like to be buried next to draw +1 card.
The second expansion adds statues that you get to place on the board. Some of the regions will have these plastic boys that get the lucky winner a special power, and some of the powers are pretty good. Maybe this bird god makes your pyramids cheaper. Although mostly the most exciting thing about this expansion is having a little plastic crocodile person with inexplicably rippling reptilian abs, and a nice picture of him with shiny foil detailing. Somewhat distracting you from the fact that one day you will die, that you don't know if there's anything in the great beyond, that you don't know if you have a soul, and that maybe nothing really mattered. Wait, where am I going with this? The expansions, they're good. Like most Reiner Knizia expansions, they're not necessary, but they're fun little add-ons if you want a little bit more. We think the base game is plenty enough, but if you want an extra load of plastic and bits, then why not, I guess.
That's not like super useful for them if they're trying to decide which version to get. The expensive one with expansions and plastic, or the base one. So what should you tell them?
Well, it depends if they want the shiny Sobek, doesn't it, really?
I mean, he's cool, but we're not collecting baseball cards, we're playing a board game, and I think I just want the base game.
Okay, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's our official recommendation.
I want to keep him, though.
That's fine, you can do that.
So in conclusion, Alley Cat Games really used their imagination when it came to republishing this Reiner Knizia classic.
Yeah, and look where it got them.
A perfectly good, really nice looking Euro game that wouldn't look out of place in a modern collection and is freshly updated with new expansions to make it just a little bit different and maybe better.
Exactly, Tom. It was a disaster and everybody involved disgraced themselves. But before we end this review, we have to answer the question that is on everybody's lips.
Yeah, which new updated version of a Reiner Knizia classic set in ancient Egypt with a central auction mechanic should our viewers buy? Wait, what have you got on the table?
That's exactly the question I was thinking.
No, but you were doing something
also.
there. There was something
nothing.
going on.
Shut up.
What are you...
Ra is the better game.
Right, so recently publishers 25th Century Games put out a gorgeous new reprint of classic Reiner auction game Ra with a new lick of paint from much lauded artist Ian O'Toole. Check out Quinns' old video on Ra if you want to see how that one plays, but imagine it with nicer art, and imagine he's wearing literally anything else.
Are you using your imagination in there?
Oh no, I wasn't, it's nothing. Here's the thing, whereas Amun-Re is just a very good game, Ra is one of the best games of all time. I think it should be a staple of everyone's collection, regardless of how good or bad the presentation might be.
Yeah, agreed, but I don't think it's necessarily exactly as simple as, oh, definitely buy Ra first and then maybe get Amun-Re. They are kind of different games. Amun-Re fills a table, it fills an evening, it's very strategic, whereas Ra is like a slot machine that went to college.
But people should get Ra first, right?
I mean, I think so, yes. Ra is really good.
And Amun-Re is good.
It's good.
It's good. As reflected by BGG's deeply questionable but inarguably democratic decimal system, Amun-Re receives a 7.3 to Ra's 0.6.
Yes, which if we translate that to what those numbers actually mean, Ra is a 9 out of 10 where Amun-Re is an 8.
So how do we end this video then?
Well, not with more imagination, let me tell you. I've had about all I can take.
Doesn't the ending of the video kind of need a bit of imagination to come up with
Let's
an outro?
do an ending with no imagination at all.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah, here we go.
Cool.
Cool.
Do you want to do the poem again?
No.